Good afternoon, good evening. Greetings from Greece, from Athens. I'm Dr. Rania Lampou. I'm a Global Advisory Council member of World Leaders Consortium. And welcome back to our Global Dialogue series, proudly presented by WLC. This initiative was created to bring together voices from around the world, encouraging the exchange of ideas, exploring innovative solutions, and inspiring tangible action towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. WLC unites leaders from over 70 countries who are dedicated to advancing sustainable development, fostering innovation, and promoting ethical leadership on a global scale. Through its initiatives, WLC provides a platform where meaningful conversations translate into real-world impact for communities everywhere. Together, we gather for another session in our ongoing mission to connect ideas with action. Each episode provides a space to address critical global challenges while celebrating the individuals who are driving transformative change both locally and globally. Our theme for this session is youth leaders as catalyst for global change. Why? Because young leaders are at the forefront of social, environmental, and technological innovation, shaping a future that is more inclusive, equitable, and sustainable. By empowering youth to take initiative and lead change, we can harness their creativity, energy, and vision to tackle the world's most pressing challenges. We are especially honored and privileged to welcome our special today's guest, Honorable Abraham Paul Vatakencherry, global influencer, mentor, strategist from India, and great friend. Mr. Vatakencherry is an aspiring advocate for youth empowerment and global leadership, and today he will share insights on how young leaders can drive systemic change, mobilize communities, and create lasting impact on both local and global scales. So thank you, Mr. Abraham. Welcome.
Thank you too.
Let's dive into this dialogue. I'm sure that we will have a very constructive discussion. So we'll start by asking you what unique qualities do young people bring to global change movements that older generations may lack?
It's a very, very vital question which you have asked. And I have my own versions for it. And the first and foremost thing is they bring in a very important and expected perspective. I mean, in a way that they're thinking, since it's unconventional, there is a lot of fresh perspectives which come in. That is point number one. Then we have things like, as science has really progressed and made advanced steps in the field of technology, there is a lot of thinking on the digital perspective of it. And also because of their growing tech savvyism, they are very tech savvy. Let us put it very clear. And they can adopt to things very fast. And this has been very, very good, bringing in a sense of urgency and bringing in absolute, to a certain extent, clarity to a lot of given burning situations which are to be addressed at the earliest. Also, there's a fine element of fearlessness. There's a fine element of their idealistic views, which we have to imbibe and see whether it is workable in the current situation. Another thing is as everyone knows, the inclusivity factor, how they intertwine certain things and make it more productive for the modern world is also very, very much. Then their exuberant energy is another factor, which can be also, and they know how to mobilize a lot of things and mobilize a good crowd, have a target audience which is most ideal, and so on. And in the end, it is all about the connectivity which they bring to the table. and that is really, a different scale altogether, where they know what are the modalities and the social media handles which they could use to bring in a lot of connectivity other than the physical uh, uh, crowd which comes in and are catering to, and as an audience for the world to make a difference altogether. This is how I have put it
Fantastic, fantastic.
in
Yes.
in a nutshell.
Young people
So that
bring. Mhm.
they are doing very, very important things, and this has to be given a year. You have to lend a year to all these things and see what the things can be improved, what can be corrected for the betterment of the world altogether.
Yes, thank you. Actually, young people bring a unique set of qualities to global change movements that not only complement, but sometimes challenge those of older generations. I have seen from my STEM workshops with young children of primary school students, they have more innovative mindset, more innovative ideas when it comes to STEM. When I ask them what the devices, what the patterns, what ideas do you suggest for climate change, they give me immediately amazing innovative ideas. They are much more innovative than adults. So yes, definitely fresh perspectives, innovative mindset, and boldness, because they are more willing to take risks, to protest and demand systemic change rather than incremental reforms. They are future-oriented. They have future-oriented thinking. And the diversity you mentioned, they're globally connected, and this shapes a more inclusive approach to change. Thank you very much. And when it comes to technology, because you already mentioned it, how can youth use technology and social media responsibly, ethically, and wisely in order to influence global change?
Yeah, there are certain problems which are happening, and this has to be addressed in the proper way, and the proper perspectives have to put in. They bring in an element of transparency, an element of faith, an element of truth, an element of not just creating a hullabulla over the topic, but to put forth certain points very crystal clear to the audience, which I feel can be very receptive when they speak the truth. The thing has to really unveil. And second thing is they can build a certain, people have got various types of narratives, and the narratives can change according to the question which is put forth. So that also can be, it's not just creating a buzz, but it's creating something which is valuable for the tomorrow's world. That is our second point. Then we have, just like what I said, the digital thing, which is making it very inclusive. And, that is really creating another big dent for the better. And if you see from the from a wider perspective, there is absolutely a deep visibility and depth which is quite balanced in one perspective, and another way it is making people to really think about what they are saying. They can't be taken lightly, and with a growing population in places like India, and especially India, in terms of the younger population, the viewpoints have to be taken into consideration. They can't be ignored because of the high level of percentages which are involved in the thing, and the growing explosion of the youth, which is really eating into the vitals of a lot of problems and all that. But at the same time, coming up with fresh perspectives which are really called for, and the best way possible to get the leverage out of the social media, to put it in one way, and then all the voices putting their heads together and coming out with a viable solution, and the urgency and of the digital technology which is escalating the things to a different level. So there is overall there has been a very good And if you ask me, it is becoming an amplification of the whole perspective through various means. Social media playing a big role, and the social media handles and the disruptive, the technologies which are coming in, all are playing a big role in augmenting the situation in such a way that people uh, are forced to listen and imbibe things. And I think I can see that there is a lot of positive change in various spheres of life. And that is what I have as an answer.
Yes, yes. And of course, young people can leverage social media, which is a powerful tool for
Mm.
advocacy. They can start campaigns or join movements. They can amplify marginalized voices. They can actually promote
Very,
solutions, not just problems. They can build
not
positive
just problem.
communities because they can collaborate across borders. They can foster respectful dialogue and actually lead
Mm.
by example and be role models of
Yeah.
digital citizenship. Thank you. However, there are always barriers and obstacles. So, what
Mm.
barriers prevent young people from having a stronger voice in decision making on global issues? And I would add here that we know that all around the world, in my country, also Greece, young people are getting less and less interested in politics. They don't even want to vote. So, what do you think are the barriers in this?
So first of all, there's a growing amount of discrimination which is seen. The governments have to be very more, much more, broader in terms of their thinking process, which they are slowly getting into. But getting them, distanced from the power politics is also playing a big role, according to me. The power politics should encourage youth, and that is going to, if they are more main, if they are made more receptive to their what they are talking, their voices have to be really heard. By power politics, there is a lot of people who just take power into their hands, and they are not prepared to listen to the youth. But now there is a growing force that, again, I put it in India, that is really, creating a lot of dent. And second thing is, what I've found is they have got certain resource constraints. And because of these resource constraints, they are not able to really progress on certain, then things like tokenism and all that, which is really, just for the heck of it, people are being considered, but they are not being given the real power to really wield that power in the current scenario. These are all, if they improve, then the legal sector, the governmental policies, all have to be some sort of what do you call it? Backed up in the true earnest, so that they give and they come out with the best of solutions. Again, the political scenario also has got a big dent, and then we have the big paramount things like the health challenges, the mental challenges, and all that in this growing, a world where things are seen in a different light. But now, I take it on a positive note that there are a lot of challenges, but in spite of those challenges, they would live to that expectation in such a way that all these things, the mental health and all that, which is off late, that is post COVID, there has been a lot of issues from the mental health perspective, but slowly it is getting addressed. Though we have been pulled back on certain things, things are coming to the forefront in a very conducive way, and I think things should come to the limelight in a much better shape in the days to come.
Yes, what you
This is what I
mentioned
have.
about mental health is extremely alarming. You mentioned about after COVID pandemic, and I have seen it's not only this, it's about the cyber world. In my country, for example, the cyberbullying, internet addiction has extremely high rates. We have 500 children who are hospitalized because of internet addiction. And in my workshops about cybersecurity, I'm conducting some workshops in the Greek Ministry of Education. We have students from primary secondary education who are really struggling. They're struggling with serious mental health disorders, mostly due to the cyber world, of these challenges. And unfortunately, we know that educators and teachers are not trained well enough to handle this because we are not psychologists, we're not now we're invited to assume multiple roles at the same time, to be mentors, to be facilitators, to be psychologists, but we're not enough trained. So how we can help our young children in this? So definitely there are structural barriers, the limited access to resources, social, cultural barriers, unequal opportunities, and the lack of digital skills, alongside with economic pressure, if we talk about the economic crisis and things like that. So, do you think that are young leaders taken seriously enough on the world stage? Why and why not? I'm really
Right.
very
It's a
interested
very, very,
in
very
hearing
pertinent
you.
question. And this is very much, relevant to the current situation. Actually, if you ask me, from the young leaders' perspective, I think their visibility is a growing thing, which is something which we have to really applaud. So that they are many people come into the fore and voice what they have to say, and making it the global stage a playing stage for them. Then we have the moral authority which certain people want to establish, and we have to give them the uh, necessary support so that things can happen in the right perspective and their things can be fulfilled. One is putting forth an idea, and fulfilling the idea is the biggest thing. And that can be done with proper good leaders being supported, with all the possible means, with all the people, going, backing them in the right perspective and right earnest, so that, we have a positive frame of mind, and we have got a positive frame of activities which are going to happen in the whole. Then, of course, now with the advent of technology, the media playing a big, big role, and also a technology, the razor edge technology, which is disrupting in such a way that it is going for the better. Some people might think like it is going for the worse, but according to me, it is going for the better because it has been, what do you call it, exponential in terms of reaching out to the people and getting into a wide audience, which is not just confined to the country's boundaries wherever they are. It is going beyond that. It has become actually a wired world where there is no boundary at all. It is a boundaryless situation where people are reaching out to various other countries and all that more than ever before. And that is a very good trend. And this is going to be the iconic element which is going to shape our future in a way where people would try to envy the the young crowd more than just trying to dissuade. The dissuading element also will be totally. But to put on the other side, if you see from the there are just like I earlier said, this tokenism and all that, which really doesn't just for just listening to them and not paying a heed to what they're doing and what they want to improvise and all that. That creates a lot of and they always see them as a lot which is totally irrelevant, totally inexperienced, so that you know they and the people who are hearing them, they don't pay a heed because of their years of experience and all that stuff. So, and they think that they are superior to the people who are telling something, which might be correct. Another thing is the just picking certain things and telling them that this is right, this is right, this is right, when they might be terribly wrong. The situation is changing day by day, and if you see the with this geopolitical situation creeping up here and there, things are also changing in such a way that it is becoming really confusing for people to take them seriously on certain grounds, and pick and choose sort of thing within a speech, which is not going to really bring in a lot of currency or bring in a lot of, and their typical moral influence also is being belittled, according to me, and which is, these are certain big factors which I would like to, uh, and you know, providing them very constructive solutions without any barricades. The barricades are really a big thing for any growing, and they are in a way dissuaded, and really performing the way they should, voicing their things in various very good performing meetings. But these are mainly the factors. I have nothing more to say on this. But I think with a good, people have to give real weight to what they are saying. That is the way in which, in a nutshell, if you ask me, they can be propped up, but at the same time, a dissuasion has to, those angles have to come down. That's my view.
Yes, exactly.
I
And
hope I've given my answer
mhm.
to what you have asked for.
Yes, while young leaders may face skepticism due to age-related issues and other issues, their ability to bring new perspectives to challenge old norms and mobilize global networks is increasingly recognized, I think. And young leaders are increasingly making the voice heard, especially on issues like climate change, like technology, social justice, where older leaders may be slower to act. So their influence
Exactly.
often grows as they demonstrate competence and achieve tangible results. Yesterday was the Teacher Day in India, and I will ask you now, what role should education and teachers play in preparing youth to become global change makers?
First of all, whatever they say should be recognized. The global acceptance levels have grown beyond boundaries. And the people have now become very aware of certain things which they thought was not there earlier. The consciousness amongst the youth has become tremendous, and we have to pay heed to that. You know, it's actually they are actually a treasure trove of knowledge, with some being a reservoir of experience because of the disruptions happening and the new thinking, the new technology, the new world. Because when I say the new world, it's because of the geopolitical situation. We have to think differently to act on certain problems in a very different way. The critical thinking, the problem solving, all these are critical factors which can take things to a different level. Their style of leadership is also, there are various types of leadership. All this thing come to the fore, depending on the target audience. So these are things which can be really, then all these, the values have to be put forth in a way which was heard never before. Because this is one area where it is gray still. The reason is, things are changing and people are, taking things for granted, which is no longer the case. People are trying to voice at the same time and trying to bring in some improvement. Then we have the putting the typical skills in place so that there is some escalation in doing certain things. That is another thing which is very paramount. Then the another factor which has grown over the years for the better is the intercultural bonding, which has really improved. The very fact that we are talking, we are from different cultures, but we are trying to make a bond and trying to see to it that things progress in the right way, in the right earnest, in the right perspective also, so that people also feel that all the world's a stage for them to perform. So these things are, I think, very instrumental, and the things like after COVID, the emotional resilience and all this have come into the fore. And of course, the earlier point also is very crucial, the mental health, which was dwindling in the time of COVID. And has taken a real, Herculean effort to make it uh, better, and people are making a concerted effort to see to it that things are equaled out and the world progresses in the right direction. So this is what I have to. Yeah. So thinking critically, making things very, which are ethical to the norms, and even stepping on the gas to see to it that things happen for the betterment of a new world. Very simple.
Yes, exactly. And it was very important that you mentioned about the cultural issues, because, for example, here in Greece, although we are a multicultural society, we have a great number of refugees many years now. Still, Greeks show, signs of xenophobia and racism. So this depends on education, how we can help young people to cultivate, tolerance and empathy and all these values that are necessary in multicultural society, multicultural classrooms. So why? Because education should shape not only knowledgeable individuals, but also proactive, empathetic, and resilient global citizens capable of leading transformative change. So, do you believe that youth-led movements create lasting impact, or they are often short-lived trends? And what are the factors that could lead to lasting impact?
Actually, we have to augment what we are thinking on a local scale to an international and global scale. That is the biggest point I would like to clear here. And that is, it's based on that factor that a typical leader can grow no bounds. And if he's the young leaders of today are all doing that to see to it that then none of them are going to be, bottled up. And, we have to see to it that they grow. And, there the technology becomes very handy. And things like, the partnerships no longer are going to be a very crucial thing with various countries and various sectors and all that, because that holds the key for real expansion and visibility. And these partnerships, other than your whatever time and energy what you spend, should be most fruitfully utilized, so that they just can zero in on whatever is the problem, and not by working like silos to get things done, but to put their time management and their energy management to be optimal. And this is going to have a real bearing on the world at large, and also the dialogues which they put forth has to be really cutting through all the problems which we are facing currently. And people should get an feeling that things are going in the right direction. The direction of any dialogue is very, very important. And this is what, uh, really put things in your favor. And we can see people surging who have really able to perceive what are the problems and then putting it forth in such a